No, I would say, well, the tipping point that I would say steered me to being how I am, and even in a spiritual way, I think people like this are born this way. I think people like this are born this way, and it just comes out if you're lucky enough. But I think what made it come out of me, the actual tipping point was, I think I was 19, and I used to be quite materialistic. Like I needed a Grand National back then. I had on the Mark Buchanan leather with the fur. I had on the Jabots with all of and I had to have it. I mean, typical West Side kind of Chicago, I just had to have it. The fur was real. I had everything. I had that was when I had the hats and all that. And, you know, the drug dealer hats with the snake, you go get it put on them and all that. I just wanted to look like that because those are the cats who was banging. And one time, one winter, I never forget, it was when Mike Tyson fought Razor Ruddock. He fought Razor Ruddock. And I was over my boy crib on the west side. And I was just home for winter break. So I see the fight. You know, Mike Tyson fight happened fast. And after the fight, I bounced from his crib, and I grew up in K-Town. I was gonna walk home. But first, let me cut to this gas station. I'm about to go buy a bag of Cheetos and like a Hawaiian punch type junk food. So I dipped. Now I'm walking opposite my crib, and I see these guys up the street. It's like two of them, and they were like maybe a three-quarters of the block up. I mean, 1/3 of the block up. And it looks like they're helping this lady with a bag. Right? It looked like an old lady from my perspective, and there was two guys helping her with the bag. They start walking toward me, but they're on the other side of the street, but they walked on a direct angle to me. So now my spider senses was like, these two motherfuckers come over here. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. Because they was walking kind of rapidly toward me, and it was making me like feel some kind of way. Houses lined up on my left, and I didn't really know the people in these houses, so I wasn't going to like I would have been fronting to run up there. I was thinking, well, maybe I'll front, go ring a doorbell or something. So they got over to me, and I was probably about this size. I'm like 6'3", and at that time I probably was like a little bit smaller, but I had that big ass leather coat on, so I probably looked kind of big and all that with the baggy jeans and all that, right? So they didn't come up on the snow. I mean, on the grass. It was all snow and ice, and I had the duck boots on, like the rubber duck boots, trying to look spiffy. So they peep me, and they keep walking along the side, like not actually coming onto the grass, what would have been grass, and onto the sidewalk. My spider senses hear the snow crunching behind me. So they went behind me. One dude went behind me, it's two of them. I hear the snow crunching. I turn, got right up on me. So I just swing. I don't even think about it. Actually, I swung my left. I swing, and I nip him. I don't get him good, but I nip him, and he kind of is slippery out there, and I take off. But I got the duck boots on with the rubber bottoms, and I'm on this ice. So I got this leather coat on with this big ass fur. I know that's what they wanted. So I'm running. Now it's probably midnight, 11:30 at night. The fight was over fast. I ain't getting nowhere though. I'm hitting the ice, nowhere, okay? My last thoughts would have been, because the dude said, shoot him and all that. My last thoughts would have been, I'm so mad about this motherfucking coat. I'll never forget. This is a turning point. I remember it like it was just happened today. I always say like, the acting gods love me because they want me here for this. And this white, ironically white, stretched like, I want to say Lincoln or whatever it was, had the bright lights on. And right there on Laverne and Lockwood, I was on Laverne and Lockwood, and it was turning onto actual Lockwood, off Laverne onto Lockwood. So when he turned, he blared the lights. Like, I lived like in a movie, I looked at those, and they were like, with the gun all like blinded by the car light, you know? And I take off on that angle, boom, boom. Now I hit a little patch of assaulted, street, boom. And they go in the other direction. I run all the way to the crib, and I stole my brother's car. My brother had like a brown Gremlin at the time. And I go in the crib, he ain't there, so I take his whip. So I drive and find them two motherfuckers, right? And all I was gonna do is hit the sidewalk on them, boom, 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 and just run the motherfuckers over. Like, I was so angered by it. My father, when I went in the crib, my old man was there, he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, nothing. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I know something wrong. What's wrong? Nothing. And I ended up telling him a little something. And he was like, you want me to come out there? And I'm like, nah, what, you gonna go out and fight like this? You know, my old man was old school, so nah. He go back upstairs and I just stole my brother's car and that's what happened. I didn't find them though. Of course they were gone. Like, even though probably a minute and a half went by, that was enough for me not to be able to find them. Drove around for about 10, 15 minutes. Drove home, took the coat off. My mother still got the coat. Took the jabots off, and I got more into style than I got more into expression of style than I was into brand. It was a turning point, because I think as an artist, you need expression different than you need. Like, I don't need to campaign for Prada. You understand? So that was a major turning point for me. It opened my eyes up in this way. And then 3 years later, I was in Above the Rim. Because I was like 19, I did Above the Rim at 22. So yeah, it was amazing. And I went off to New York right after that, you know? And I was just a different dude. Like, I would have been going out there with my leather shit on, looking like a real West Side cat. Instead, I was an empty canvas. And when I showed up in New York, like I told you earlier, cats with the hats twisted, I was like, damn, y'all GD and Vice Lord everywhere. And then when I learned, I was like, that freedom, I just love that freedom. And I kept on building from there. And I think those things, you know, they set you on your path in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So